The Power of Habits Book Summary. 19th century psychologist William James observed that all of our lives are but a set of habits, and advertising men of the 20th century took this wisdom seriously. It was no longer enough just to sell a product, but the goal shifted to how to lure consumers back. In his book The Power of Habit, New York Times reporter Charles Duhigg takes that idea and explains how some companies have achieved tremendous success by changing people's habits, either by luck or by design. Habit. Charles Duhigg is an American journalist, writer, born in New Mexico, studied history at Peel University, and earned an MBA from Harvard University. The New Yorker, in which he published a series of newspaper articles on the digital economy focusing on Apple, for which he won the Pulitzer Prize for Explanatory Report in 2013. Contents of the book The Power of Habits. The Power of Habits helps to understand why habits are at the core of everything we do, how they can be changed, and what impact this has on your life, work, and society. In the book, Habit cycle. Habit loop or habit circuit is a neural pattern that controls any habit. It consists of three components: signal, guide, routine, reward. Understanding these components can help in understanding how to change bad habits or form good ones. A habit loop always begins with a cue, a stimulus that moves the brain into a mode that automatically determines what habit to use. The core of the habit is a mental, emotional, or physical routine. There is a reward that helps the brain determine whether that particular episode is worth remembering in the future. Toothpaste is an excellent example of how companies use the habit circle, Duhigg says. About 100 years ago, no one in America brushed their teeth, but when one of the nation's most prominent advertising executives, Claude C. Hopkins, heard about a new toothpaste called Pepsodent, thought he could make an ad campaign for his marketing like no other. Claude C. Hopkins made his name in creating habits around products and making them popular. He had these two simple rules: turn the product into a daily habit, find a simple hint, something that will motivate the consumer, and second, you have to give them the reward. And this is the habit loop that Hopkins used decades before it was published in books, and the hint Hopkins used to sell his toothpaste was the membranous plaque that naturally forms on the teeth. We need toothpaste to get rid of it, but Hopkins drew people's attention to it by creating posters that read, "Get rid of this membrane, and Pepsodent gives you a beautiful smile." For the first time, people started buying toothpaste, so Hopkins really started a habit, says Duhigg. Brushing teeth in America with Pepsodent. This has to do with how habits work. The reason these cues and rewards are so important is that over time, people start craving the reward whenever they see the cue, and this craving makes the habit happen automatically without the consumer's awareness. The science of habit formation can be used not only to sell products, but also to transform entire people or companies. To do this, Duhigg says, you have to target a particularly important behavior that the writer calls a keystone habit. How do we change the habit? The golden rule of habit change from Duhigg's point of view is based on two steps. To change a habit, we must first define the components of the habit loop, which are the guide, routine and reward. Then we change only one part in the loop, and the easiest part to change in that loop is the routine. For example, you have a habit of having coffee in the late afternoon and you want to change that because you realize that it prevents you from sleeping well. Let's define the components of the loop: evidence, end of the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the evening, feeling a little tired, routine, suggest to some colleagues to meet and have a coffee break. Bonus, it could be the physical coffee boost you're looking for, or you just need a break, or the social aspect of meeting and chatting with some colleagues. In this case, if you find that this is the social aspect you are looking for rather than a coffee boost, you can just change up your coffee routine for another drink like a glass of water or juice at 5 p.m., in which case you'll still meet your colleagues and experience the reward, and that's from it would make the habit change completely normal because you are not resisting something or feeling frustrated how to install a new habit. If you want to establish a new habit like doing morning exercises every day, all you need to do is get a simple cue or guide and create a routine of wanting to exercise every day. Evidence: a simple cue to get might be a poster for a workout or your favorite artist. Put it up so you see it every day when you wake up and get your gym clothes ready the night before, and it could be a motivational song you hear in the morning. Routine: do 10 minutes of push-ups and stretches every morning. Get a reward: it could be an endorphin rush, getting a treat, or one of your favorite drinks to reward yourself after a workout. The book offers advice in this part, which is to make the new routine easy to achieve when starting and stick to a number of attempts, even if it is small, and according to many studies, it may take 66 days on average for the new habit to become automatic, and some people can start habitually the new habit after only 21 days, and if the effects are positive you can continue to practice or renew part of it for another 21 days, and so on until the habit is well established. Not all habits are equal. There are basic habits, and some habits that are started once have a multiplier effect and produce much greater effects. They start like a chain reaction that leads to many changes over time. And the writer mentioned at the beginning of his book an example of this is Alan, who she was overweight, her marriage broke down, she had no job for more than a year, and she smoked cigarettes. And when Alan tried to quit smoking, a change in other areas of her life ensued, and even psychoanalysts couldn't believe the change in Alan's life.